There we go. Yeah.
So Jeremy, what scene was the most fun for you? What did you have the most fun doing?
Um, Man, they were all really fun. I mean, there's little bits and pieces of every single scene that we did that was a lot of fun. I mean, whether it was the ensemble stuff that we were able to do, the pep talk when you were playing the Reverend was incredible because all we were really doing in that one is sitting there and watching you rip and watching you go after it. That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of stuff where we were just kind of going off of looks and going off of basic reactions and stuff. But if I had to put, I guess, kind of a finer point on it, that initial scene with Nick Cavallero and Desiree Aviata where they played the British couple, because you really could just see that this dude isn't all there, and you could see that he was really, really, really getting worked up over something that was pretty inconsequential. Any well-balanced and adjusted person would be like, all right, that's not your cup of tea, I'm totally cool with it. Knowing that you have to kill somebody anyway, especially, but I feel like in Dapper's case, he took that as a personal slight, and he had never met these people before. He didn't have any reason to dislike them on any level. But then all of a sudden it became a vengeance killing and not just like an assassination, where it's like, all right, you motherfuckers, like I'm gonna do you in on my behalf. I don't even care if I'm getting paid anymore. It's like this weird kind of sense of justice with this dude, which is totally unfounded, But yeah, every scene was a lot of fun. I mean, there was never a time when any of us were working where we felt like, oh man, this is a real drag and this is a beating. I mean, it was a fun project start to finish. So when you're able to kind of get in the head of these really bizarre, nutty, inept characters, and then play with a bunch of other idiots, and everybody is being very serious. I mean, it never felt shticky to me because I feel like everybody was like, okay, these are these characters. We're gonna play these guys as straight as we can, and then we're gonna go from there. I think that's where a lot of the comedy branches from.
Yeah, I thought all of you guys did an amazing job of really being that character's advocate.
Right.
You guys were full in, and,
Oh yeah.
and they were not at all. You were for them.
Sure.
You were about that person, and their justice was justice.
Sure.
That really came through. Now, we had a small budget for this film.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most uncomfortable thing? Because when you're doing the amount of locations and stuff like that, we had to call in a lot of favors. I know
Sure.
a lot of stuff wasn't what it would be on a set that had an adequate amount of funding. What was the most uncomfortable one? Whether it be, just physically uncomfortable, was it, or maybe that you were just waiting around like forever? What was the one day when you were like that you felt the budget?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I feel like I have kind of performance amnesia. Like anytime there's something that's not quite right on time,
Right.
I don't ever really think about that after it's done. And I also don't ever really feel like there was a whole lot of crazy headbutting or whatever. I mean, we all knew what we were getting into. We knew we were doing a low budget project, and we knew we were there because the script was great. And we were working with a talented group of people. The fact of the matter is, we maybe had more fun than if we would have had $250,000 to shoot this episode. You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be creative. You're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to be able to do to make this happen and to pull this stuff off? And meanwhile, we're all just there for the ride. We're riding along with you guys. And so I think I had a great time. The other thing about it is, as an actor, unfortunately, it's so infrequent that you get a chance to act that when you do, man, you better enjoy that shit. Because you just don't get to do it every day. I mean, I think if anybody was pulling their hair out, it was Chris Clancy. And I think because he was trying to maintain a set, and also sometimes we would really go off on tangents and really kind of go, and you would have to rein us back in and stuff. You're like, okay, guys, it's funny, but we're not going in the right direction. You basically say like, okay, listen, you crazy fuckers, you're gonna have to take it back a couple of steps and start back from where we're trying to get to. But yeah, I mean, as far as I can recall, there was never one time that was like a singular beating. I will say that that scarf that I chose to wear on that veranda sequence is hot as shit.
It was hot.
And it was a hot day, man. So maybe on the next one you can invest in a little like 10 by 10 silk that we can actually put over for some shade. You know, maybe maybe a makeup artist with a dab cloth every now and again.
That was a hot one. That was a tough one.
But all in all, man, I mean, there's not any one instance where I was like, oh man, I'd never go back and do that again, because it's fun. I mean, you're having a good time, you know, and you're telling a great story, and you're getting to work with other talented people. So yeah, that being the case, you know, like I said, we might have had less fun had we had more money, you know.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good, man.